fucking session you have had in your entire life. Let me tell you, it feels like the hands of God. I probably shouldn't say that, actually.
Yeah,
I probably should make a joke about God jerking you off. Never mind. Sometimes I just get rolling.
Game, I thought my
Sometimes I just get
PC
rolling.
almost
I don't know
crashed.
what I'm going to say.
What's weird? What is going on?
Until I say it.
I get that. I have a friend like that too. His name's Nate.
God, I'm such a girl.
What else would you be?
The obesity rate for low-income women in this country, okay, who are not on SNAP, 40%. You know what it is for those on SNAP? 57%. So working-class Americans with kids not on SNAP, struggling, are paying to make other people fatter. How can we have a country with that? That's what's cut it. Give out a few food stamps for a period of time, a few months, until you get back on your feet. Otherwise, get your ass to work. Look, I can get caviar. Would we take caviar off fucking SNAP? Pardon my language. Isn't that ridiculous? So should some Cherokee be able to get caviar on SNAP while the other person's eating canned ham? Does that seem right?
No, a Cherokee person would probably eat spam. That's a favorite.
That's fair. That's fair. If they do they like spam or they fans of spam?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't like either. Welcome back to Change My Mind, where we reason through our positions on seemingly controversial topics. And during our most recent and longest government shutdown to date, there were a lot of disruptions in the United States, including air travel, national parks, military, but no sector was talked about more, or one could argue, than the subject of SNAP.
Look out for the single mothers that got kids. Now, what can we do? We can't feed our kids. Let alone if we do have jobs, again, what can we do?
Around 42 million Americans depend on the
there's lots you
Supplemental
can do.
Nutrition Assistance Program, also known
Lots
as
and
SNAP.
lots.
And who the they think celebrating these motherfucking holidays with no food stamps? I don't know where the we gonna get the food from.
They showed that the Republicans don't actually believe their own BS when it comes to populism and when it comes to funding SNAP.
I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my grocery.
Trump, it ain't nothing like niggas been knew how to steal. Like, please, I'll go steal a whole turkey and a ham. Like, what up?
It'd be natural to assume that a subject inspiring such strong feelings would be amongst the most necessary, virtuous programs allocated in the United States' $7 trillion budget, right? But surprisingly, the truth is, it's not, which is exactly today's topic of discussion that took place at Oklahoma University in this installment of Change My Mind. The conversations ranged from productive-ish to cordial to a little or a lot off the rails. But you may be surprised by which students or canines had the most to offer. So sit back, but hold your chair tightly for this latest installment of Change My Mind and Snap. You know what? Let's get the off-the-rails stuff out of the way first.
I can't fathom this idea that, like, Trump is, instead of cutting aid to, say, stop funding the war in Ukraine, stop sending so much aid over to Israel, stop giving the rest of the world so much money, we're giving so much money away like just candy to everybody. Stop getting paid by these lobbyists. Stop paying yourselves salaries even while the government shut down. I think the stat I saw was we're giving Israel enough to where every citizen of Israel gets basically like $1 million a year.
We're giving like
$3 to $4 billion
to Israel, which we should stop, but over $100 billion a year on SNAP.
But the idea that we're giving Israel all of this money, it's not even our country, and then we're telling Americans, hey, get back to work, peasant. You can't have Coca-Cola, you can't have candy, you can't have a nice meal for your family.
You absolutely shouldn't have Coca-Cola or candy if you don't work. The
And
$3
that's
billion
fine,
to
but-
Israel that we should also cut has nothing to do with it.
I
It's
just
less than a
think-
50th.
I just think we should solve all of those other extraneous problems before we start telling American citizens we can't have nice luxuries. Yeah, you should work for
Sure
your
you
food
can
and
if you
all
work
that
for
stuff.
it. It'd be like looking at that car and it doesn't work going, not the engine, not the transmission, let's fix the bolt on that hubcap. That would be the money to Israel. By the way, I say cut all of it, but it's not even close to SNAP, let alone if you get to what illegal immigration. The social safety nets, the welfare state that we have is so much astronomically higher. It's so much higher. That was horrible grammar. I'm tired. I've been here for about 5 hours at this point, and I just had to sit down with a furry and act like I didn't think it was degeneracy. But we're at the point now where we have to actually deal with the problem, and this is one of the primary problems. And I think that it's a red herring to say, yeah, but Israel, great, cut it too. It's not even close, but we do have to bring up one of the. So I think we agree on principle, and I agree with you on all. We don't disagree on anything. Cut all of it. You want Coca-Cola? Go buy it.
The deal you turned down from Ben Shapiro's corporation is worth $50 million.
Sure.
So
The company, it employs about 30 people.
A lot of money, though. And we're still funding fucking Israel. We're still funding all of these militaries across the United States. We're in a deficit of our own
We're
military.
funding the military of the United States.
Well, we're in a deficit
All the
of our own,
militaries
like,
across the
national
United
military.
States.
Like,
They're all of
Not
them.
even close.
because of how much we're giving to them. So I do have questions, though.
Okay.
Where do you make your money? Like, who funds you?
It's entirely funded by viewers. Yeah, about 85% is people who choose to subscribe. So no outside money from donors, from nonprofits, and we do like one sponsor a day that makes up about 15% of revenue.
Okay. Based on the demographic of SNAP recipients that I'm thinking of being like single mothers, and based on the cancellation that you went through in 2021, do you see how that like is kind of like?
No, I don't.
Where
I
is
don't
she
see how it's relevant
connecting
to,
dots?
subsidizing a government program that's a failure and rife with fraud.
I just think it's interesting that you have put someone in a position of potentially needing to rely on that, and then turn around and dunk on the other people who also need to rely on.
I think it's potentially interesting that you believe things that you see in the media and have no ideas of the situation that she is. You think she's on SNAP and
No, I
ex-wife,
said
but I'm
you
not
could
allowed to discuss it because that's the
You're
mother of my
rich.
children.
You're rich. She's not going to be on SNAP. I'm glad you respect the mother of your children. Not to
Yeah, I'm not going to be discussing
I'm
that
not talking
issue.
about your
And I think it's a very
actions.
feminist thing to then go like, well, since I can't actually argue this point, let me go to
No,
something
it's more
personal when they're
pointing
ushering you
out
on.
the hypocrisy. Like the
get it.
no-fault divorce thing. That's a whole other topic. I wish we would have talked about that instead because I think
Biggest
that would've
failure of
been a lot
Ronald
more.
Reagan. Yeah.
I think that would have been a lot more interesting. But like
I know, but it's the sign. We have to talk about the sign. I know it's a feminist thing to want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, but the sign is about Snap.
Talk about whatever you want to talk
I
about.
just think it's interesting that like a lot of women end up on Snap from situations like that.
You mean the situations they put themselves
This was
into?
later in the day, not all of the conversations were taking place in good faith or were productive at all. And surprisingly, very few people had anything to disagree with once they knew the money on which we were spending these resources for SNAP. But this conversation was different from most we've had in the past, and I would say productive. And this young lady is lovely as a button. Please welcome and be kind to Carter. Nice to meet you, Carter. Please grab a seat. And do you mind scooching in just so we can, for the camera, they can see? I don't know how familiar you are with these installments, this series, but I just try and set people a little more at ease. I'll tell you what it's not. It's not gotcha. It's not scoring points. It's not dunking. It's not meant to be clipped for reels, though people will do that. Was created almost a decade ago to have authentic conversations in good faith and see where we agree, disagree, and are able to present our opinions on controversial topics.
Absolutely.
It will not be uploaded, cut out of context like a Jon Stewart type thing. That being said, a controversial topic, and I'm at my wit's end. I'm fed up with this. The more I look into SNAP, my position on this is end SNAP completely, outright, wholesale. If we want something like food stamps for bare necessities, create a separate program. It's so beyond repair and so corrupt. I think in 2025, done with SNAP. If you disagree, you're welcome to change my mind.
Okay, let me give you some context. So I come from Adair County, Oklahoma. When I was growing up, it was the #1 poorest county. We've moved up in the world, and now we're the 3rd poorest county.
Good for you.
I know, out of all 77, yay!
Yeah. It's baby steps.
Yes, I'm a Cherokee citizen. Cherokee Nation's very.
She's
prevalent in
white
my
for
local
Cherokee.
town.
She's
Even with
white.
Cherokee Nation, we still provide. We still depend on SNAP.
Yeah. Why?
Yes. Because it's a very rural, very small town, and we have a lot of small jobs that pay minimum wage, so people are not able to afford rent and eat.
Okay.
We heavily have to depend on horticulture, agriculture. We have, a Tyson factory. We do so much of that kind of work, but that does not pay well. So, we're paying to keep the lights on. Not me personally.
No, I get it.
But people in my community are paying to have the lights on, but they still need to eat. There's still food insecurity in rural towns. And I think one thing people are forgetting is those rural towns. They're seeing the majority, but they're also not looking at the minority.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
I think some people in the government are looking at the numbers and not the people and the geographical areas of where they're.
Forgive me, what do you mean by those in the government? Because the government position has been overwhelming support for SNAP to the point that it's ridiculous, where the #1 purchased item is sugary sodas. That's $100 to $130 billion a year, $9 billion of which just go to soda alone. You can get
That's
everything
an.
on SNAP.
Did you imagine
Caviar
buying
on SNAP.
$9 million
Alcohol
worth of
I
soda?
think is immoral and I think is ridiculous, which is why if we want to go back to a food stamp program for bare essentials, well, that should help people who are in need.
That's
It
what I
sounds to me
had
like
when
we're
I was a
talking about
kid.
nation, or the Cherokee Nation.
Bare
and this
essentials.
neighborhood, or community was most poor to 3rd poorest. Sounds to me like you're almost advocating for perpetual use of SNAP, which we know has been very prevalent in the Native American community. And would you say that's made the Native American community stronger or weaker? How's it doing?
It has made it stronger, but since we're not always recognized, it's not building back up.
What do you mean?
Like, we're in a very poor rural area, but we're not able to change it dramatically because we're not having more people invest and spend time and work more in our rural areas because they're going to bigger and better places.
Why do you think that other rural areas are able to do so? There are other rural areas that aren't that poor, and certainly not for decades at a time. Why do you think it's so specific to the Native American community, who get far more, disproportionately more government benefits and contribute less? Why do you think that is?
Sometimes there's a rich person who gives a big amount, whether it be scholarship or funds. They're coming in. Sorry, I'm shaking.
No, that's okay. By the way, it's okay. I still get nervous all the time every time I do this. If this helps you, let me present to you my position.
Okay.
Would that help?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And just let me know too if you want, because I don't want to dominate the conversation, but I also know you don't sit and talk as much for a living, so if it helps. I would say that it has kneecapped and irreparably damaged the Native American community. I would say the Native American community has been handicapped. They're not a particularly industrious people because they don't have to be, and because they are ultra reliant on government services. And I would say that let's grant your scenario, which I wouldn't say is necessarily true in most scenarios, but a wealthy person coming in and investing in a community, sure, that can be helpful.
Yes.
Those people would be very, very hesitant to invest in a community that seems to be dependent in perpetuity forever on government assistance with no interest in getting off of it.
Okay.
That would be, I would say that. I would say that there's a reason that not only is that one of the poorest communities, but Native American reservations, despite having advantages in a lot of ways, pretty much everyone looks like an episode of Cops. It's bad. It's bad. Let's just be honest, right? They don't look beautiful. They're not nice. And we've been doing it this way with government assistance and subsidies. Maybe do it a different way. Maybe if you cut people off and go, no, you got to start doing what everyone else does. You got to start toiling by the sweat of your brow. Maybe they would become more industrious, because I don't think it's helped the Native American community. And I say that because it's a microcosm. There's a huge over-reliance on government subsidies, welfare, social safety benefits in the Native American community. But now apply that at large. That's what happens with SNAP EBT. People stay on it. 60% of people on it are able-bodied. We can't reform it at all. If the government can't cut Coca-Cola from SNAP, then we can't cut anything. Enjoy your debt. You're a lot younger than me. If we can't have work requirements 80 hours a month, which is what's opposed by the Democrat Party, then we can't have any requirements. That's why I say we got to do away with it wholesale and do something else. Do you think we should change it to, at the very least, hey, get rid of soda, treats from SNAP?
I would say soda.
Okay.
And more health conscious things, but not to get away with it altogether.
Well,
to kind of compromise with SNAP.
Well, so here's the thing. You can't compromise with SNAP because you can't cut soda, right? There was a huge outcry of people going, that's a violation. Hey, you can't determine what these people, everyone deserves treats. First off, not everyone deserves treats. Second, for me, it's pretty simple.
Kind of why
You
they're called
pay,
treats.
You choose. I pay, the taxpayer, I choose. Milk, eggs, meat, produce, and fabric softener. Otherwise, get to work. Is that fair?
No.
No, that's not fair?
There should be some choice in that.
I don't think there should be any choice. Our soldiers get MREs and they have to pay for them. Why should someone who's able-bodied, choosing not to work, get anything better than our soldiers? Are you aware of, like, and so SNAP, because you mentioned this is true. If you go to Amazon, right?
All right.
SNAP EBT, okay, right here. So I pay taxes, right? And there are a lot of Americans who work and pay taxes, who are poor, low-income Americans, right?
Yes.
Not on SNAP. You get 50% off your Prime membership. You get unlimited groceries for $4.99 a month. Let me show you what's in the groceries. Lavazza coffee, $25. Rockstar, Ghost Energy. Hey, let's go down to snacks and treats. When you say choice, these are the choices right now that tax. Pre-filled pumpkin buckets of assorted Halloween candy. Does that seem like helping someone with a tough break? And how do we make the case to low-income Americans that they should fund that? Because they are.
Well, a lot of them have children.
Okay, so do the people paying taxes who are working for a living.
Okay, that's a fair
Right?
point.
I mean, because people say it's taken from the rich, given to the poor. And you look obviously very svelte, and I'm sure you know that obesity is a problem in the country. It doesn't affect you. Probably affects me more than you. I have some that I could lose. But the obesity rate for low-income women in this country, okay, who are not on SNAP, 40%. You know what it is for those on SNAP? 57%. So working class Americans with kids not on SNAP, struggling, are paying to make other people fatter. How can we have a country with that? That's what I say, cut it, give out a few food stamps for a period of time, a few months, until you get back on your feet. Otherwise, get your ass to work. Can you understand why? And by the way, I wasn't raised wealthy. And I know those people. I work with these people. I've spent my whole life with these people who, out of pride, would not take SNAP or EBT. And when they find out what they're paying for, that's a really tough pill to swallow.
Yes.
So I just say do away with it. Food stamps for essentials for a very limited amount of time. Work requirements, right? Meaning I think it should be more than 80 hours a week. I think to get anything you should be working, 8 hours a month, sorry. It's 20 hours a week. Yeah, I think it should be a full work week. and you get a very temporary relief.
No, I could argue for obviously the food dropping. There should not be that much junk food, but 20-25 hours a week if you're on Snap with incentives to make you get out of Snap. I don't know what that incentive would be, but something to get you out of it.
I mean, this is not, I didn't know this until yesterday. I didn't see how just, you can get, look, I can get caviar. Would we take caviar off fucking Snap? Pardon my language. Isn't that ridiculous? So should some Cherokee be able to get caviar on Snap while the other person's eating canned ham? Does that seem right?
No, a Cherokee person would probably eat Spam. That's a favorite.
That's fair.
Spam is gross.
Do they like Spam? Are they fans of Spam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spam is gross.
I don't like either. This is sturgeon caviar.
Okay.
Pardon my language. What the fuck? Like, how are we at this point as a country when we're talking about being fiscally responsible and people who aren't working, who are able-bodied, are getting caviar or potentially through Snap? Could we agree that maybe that's a broken system that we have to do away with it, start from the ground up with essentials? And I say less choice.
Okay, when you come from that standpoint, I have to agree with you.
Okay.
Kind of slightly because you're cornering me in that aspect.
Well, I ranted because you said it would help you. So now the floor is
You're
yours.
being passionate.
Yes, yes.
You're being passionate. I'll give you that. Starting from the ground up is very hard. I just hope there isn't a trickle down system to it. You know, like, never mind.
I think we agree on more. I think to be fair, I think you didn't know how bad it was. Is that fair?
Yes.
I think you thought, oh, man, someone who's struggling, who's getting bare essentials. I don't think you realize that people who can work, who choose not to, are getting fatter on this shit, all done in the name of equity.
Okay, to kind of branch off of that, do you think some of those people are mentally, declined? Do you think they have mental illness? Do you think
So, and I understand there's a difference with that. People, like, for example, veterans, but there are other ways to deal with those. You know, there are other ways to deal with, and we can categorize those, but we're not. So that's again why I say
I don't like the mental. The mental argument is such a boring argument
be
to
able
me.
to allocate the funding more effectively to the people you're talking about who need it.
If a person with Down syndrome can get a job, then I think
I do believe that if people
pretty much anybody can get a job.
mentally handicapped, whatever, adjudicated, mentally defective, whatever term you want to use, that they could
Like,
use some help.
there's no doubt.
I think we could also help by removing some of the red tape for charities. I did volunteer work with these special needs. They would all live in homes together. These were private charities. They do a friendship club thing every, I think it was Tuesday of the week, where we bring in food. And a lot of that is hard because of the red tape. But I think that we need to separate that. That's not who's typically using Snap.
Okay.
And those people end up being shortchanged because that person is treated the exact same as an able-bodied baby mama who eats Halloween candy. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm impassioned because I had someone here try to fucking do a bomb threat, so I'm a little bit ornery. And I got a furry who's looking to argue with me.
Yeah, I thought the furry was going to come on. I got a little scared for a second.
Yeah.
Hurry looking to argue
I don't
with
know. What do
me.
you want me to say to the furry? It's okay. It's just between you and me. It's weird, right? Should I just go guns blazing and say, stop being degenerate?
I think everyone has a right of free will.
Sure.
Stop being a
I just don't have
degenerate.
to act like it's normal. You put on a mascot costume. You know the scariest thing I ever saw in my life? Since I think this has been a friendly conversation. I'm trying to put you at ease. Hopefully this helps, but I'm being a little silly. One of the scariest things I ever saw, and I mean like testicle disappearingly scary. I was at a flea market in a rural area of Michigan, and it wasn't just a furry, but it was a furry in a full mascot outfit who put on top of it slacks and like a t-shirt to be a furry during Casual Friday. I was like, that is a disturbed individual. That was one of the scariest things. And just looking through, like, oh, look at these old books. Haggling. Scariest moment of my life. Also when someone tried to kill me, but you know, it's neck and neck.
Yeah. Those two things. Almost stepping on a snake, seeing a furry.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you, Carter. I appreciate the perspective. And what part, do you know what percent you are Cherokee or? 2%.
I grew up there, so like, you know, I got to learn a little bit more than most
She
people.
fucking, she's 2%. The way she talked about it was like she's got at least enough to get fucking like government assistance on her own, but she's a dude. I'm 1%, and she's talking about it like that is crazy.
Yeah. Well,
She's
I'm glad that you're at school, and I'm glad
2%.
you're bettering your situation, and you're walking proof that people can do it. That people, regardless of circumstances, can better their lives and manifest their own, their own future.
Absolutely.
So I really do appreciate. I mean that. I appreciate, because I know it can be tough if you come from a rough spot.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Carter. Thank you very much. Hopefully it helped. I did dominate the conversation, but with silly horse shit.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Carter. God bless. Be well.
Yeah, as you can see, I did a lot more talking there than is typical for Change My Mind. But you know what? It's healthy to be nervous when you're speaking publicly. It's like the #1 fear in the United States. And speaking of health, I want to take this chance to tell you about Foundation, the only other company that I've ever launched, created, or own. It is a daily multivitamin supplement plus 2 clinically proven ingredients at their clinically proven doses
More.
to help with pain, inflammation, heart, brain
More
health.
drugs. Even Steven Crowder tries to give you drugs.
Supplement. And just like Change My Mind provides you with all the references, Foundation Daily provides you with certificates of analysis as well as the research behind the ingredients on the label at foundationdaily.com.
Don't know why they always
Where you
advertise
can
more
go to check out
drugs.
the information, the research, as well as subscribe to order yours today. Look, like I say, I've said in the past, if you eat a great diet, if you have perfect cholesterol, blood pressure, you probably don't need it. But if you want to close the nutritional gaps and be able to trust that what you are putting in your body is what is on that label, go to foundationdaily.com and you can subscribe to save 40% for life. because you can go out
40%
and
for
buy these,
life.
ingredients separately.
Take all of the supplements,
But buying
all
them
of them.
at verified dosages from
Take
reputable
them
companies
all.
costs you around $150 a month.
Take all the
That's why I
supplements in the
created it.
world.
That's why it's the only other company that I've created. FoundationDaily.com if you're interested. Please leave a like or a comment below what you want to see in the future of Change My Mind. As for right now, on to the thing.
That's insane, dude.
All right. Do you mind if I ask you to scooch in for the camera? I know it's going to be hard to navigate with the mascot head. What's your name, sir? Can you spell it for the camera and just say you consent to talking?
Yeah, Twistal, Twystal.
Okay.
Crystal.
Is this your furry name or your biological name?
Furry. I prefer not to.
Okay. But you do consent to sitting down and discussing, and you're not going to go to YouTube and say, that's not really me?
No.
Okay, all right. So Crystal, I don't know how from... Twistal?
Twistal, yeah.
Twistal. Does it have any
Jesus.
significance, like the name, or is it just a cool name?
Yeah.
Twistal.
it
The
comes
fuck
from
is wrong with
interests,
people?
Which are geology, meteorology.
What's cool about them, if you've ever actually seen them, if you've ever actually watched them catch a rodent, they can be completely silent on approach.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's
He
pretty
hasn't
cool.
heard about
You
that
seen the movie
shit.
Guardians of Gahul.
I have.
It's awesome. I still say to this day the best animation. Sorry, I'm tired, so I'm a little scattershot.
Okay.
Twistle, I don't know how familiar you are with this series or these installments. What we do, let me just kind of set you at ease. It's not designed to be gotcha score points on the topic at hand. This was pre-Debate Bro, pre-YouTube Shorts when it started, and clips. Like, it'll be uploaded, provided we both have a conversation in good faith in its entirety. So you will not be taken out of context, even if it's a controversial topic. So this topic right now, we obviously just switched it, is I think that in 2025, considering the abysmal failure, the corruption, it is beyond repair. We absolutely need to wholesale cut, snap, done. And if anything, put something else in its place. If you disagree, Twistle, you're welcome to change my mind.
I mean, I don't know much about this topic, so I would not. I prefer not to give any comment.
Why are you sitting
At least
down
when they
then?
invited me here, they said it was mostly going to be about like the.
Okay, so Twistle, what would you like to talk about? And this is, just to be clear, this is something you really do. You're not trolling, right? Because there are people who do that.
I'll say like one of the biggest misconceptions about furries in general is that we
He's
think we're
defending
animals.
furriness.
I do not think I'm an animal. I know I'm a human. There are a small subsection called Therians that identify spiritually with animals.
Okay.
That's one of the biggest misconceptions I've seen is that people assume that we think we're.
What is
And by the
happening
way,
right
just because I
now?
have to get the mic close to you, if you feel this, just know that's the microphone. I'm not trying to knock you. I just have to get it close. So then what is it to you? Why do you
It's a long conversation with the furry.
thing there.
So to me, it's again kind of like a reflection of my interests. This is a character
Okay, this is a furry conversation now. I don't even know if I want.
that I designed.
What is happening?
myself. Like I didn't make this costume, but I had an artist draw out kind of what I had in mind. Again, the name comes from Twister and Crystal, because I wanted to be able to express all of my interests all at once. The color scheme comes from weather, pretty much.
Yeah.
Blue rain, yellow lightning, gray, black clouds.
Oh my god.
And the shape
What
in the
is-
middle of the forehead, the yellow one. I don't know if you see that. It's supposed to be a type of crystal called a Japan Law Twin.
It kind of looks like an N64 era heart because it's like a polygonal heart.
Yeah, it kind of does.
So I just thought it was like all love. But okay, let me ask you this, Twistle. And the good thing is people won't know your real identity, so hopefully you can shoot me straight. Are you one of these people you discuss, or what percentage of your community would you say also have some type of sexual proclivity or it being included in their identity as a furry?
So I would say that I can't put like any percentage on it, but it's not
high.
necessarily an insignificant number.
It's a pretty high number, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know, so I can't say any number. 'Cause
Okay.
I honestly don't know, but I do know people that do have that side.
Yeah.
For me, I choose to stay away from it for the most part in terms of art, the costume.
Well, wait, for the most part. So that means you probably experimented a little bit with some of the sex stuff.
I have friends that are into that side, and I pretty much stay away from it.
What is, you keep saying pretty much. You have like an experience early on in college or something like that? Again, no.
I've never had any kind of experiences with the costume, and I do not want to.
You don't want to?
Hand paws.
Yeah.
And
Is that a cost thing where you kind of do it in installments and build it?
You can, or you can do it all at once if you have enough money.
Okay.
Depending on who you want it from.
Okay. Let me ask you, what type of intersect do you think there's with like LGBTQ? Because a lot of people think, it's now just a modern expression of gender. And I will tell you this, a lot of people view it as degeneracy when it's an expression of gender or sexuality, because those things.
All right.